Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome out to another Hardrocker Luncheon. Thanks for coming out. Nobody's sitting in front as per usual, but that's okay. Thanks to Subway for sponsoring our luncheon again. Basketball season winding down, but still a few games left for the Hardrockers, and the indoor track season kind of getting cranked up right now. And I know Coach Schafer was excited about this meet out at South Dakota State. Welcome up, Head Coach Jerry Schafer.
Thank you, Nate. I have somebody that decided to come up and be real close and try to bug me here, but we'll ignore Larry. We can see right over his head, no big deal. So we did go out to SDSU for the second year in a row, compete on their brand new facility. Just a great venue for competition. Brad's got a picture here of it. It's a 300-meter track with a short football field on the infield. It's I think the midline of the football field is 40 yards. They had two long and triple jump pits at one end of the field house and two pole vault pits at the other end. Lots of bleacher seating. Just a great venue for competition. 8 lanes all the way around as well as on the straightaway. A phenomenal place to compete, and kids loved competing there, and I think the times showed that very well. In just a little bit, Brad's going to start bringing a collection plate around because we want one of these on our campus in the next 2 years, and Brad has offered to come and collect money from you all so that we can do that. So a little bit about the meet. The competition, D1, D2, D3, and NAIA competition. And it ranged from very, very elite to not so elite. I think in some of the events, for instance, the 200, they had over 20 heats of men and 20 heats of women. So it was a long 2 days. It started mid-afternoon on Friday and concluded late afternoon on Saturday. The people we took to the meet were in some of the faster heats and better flights in the competition. And that was exciting. We've determined when we go to this meet, we're just going to take our top people, and so we took 9 athletes, and they were entered in 14 events this weekend. From that, we had 10 indoor personal bests. 8 of our competitors, of our athletes, moved up or got onto the all-time top 10 South Dakota Mines list. And then we had 5 school records that were set. So these are the school record holders. I'm not going to talk, well, maybe I will talk about them in order. Nick Alberts actually pushed his school record in the 400 meters under 50 seconds. He ran 49.48. He also finished 14th in the 200. Finished in the top 15, in the top 20 in the 200. Running 22.08, which is his personal best indoor or outdoor. So he had a great weekend coming off of an injury. It was kind of a nice surprise for him, but he does tend to rebound very well coming off of injuries. So Addie Stratmeyer. Last week I told you about Addie getting another school record. She's gotten 3 school records this year, this time in the mile. And again, she displaced Jill Dale with a 26-year-old record in the mile, ran 5:23.21. Very good performance. And in the 5K, Libby Friesen, and Libby's also a sophomore for us. Libby ran 19 minutes, 11 seconds, .54 in the 5K. She was a couple of tenths off of besting the outdoor 5K record as well. So she had a great day in her race as well. Travis Boos in the 1K, he just missed that record at Gillette the week before, so we took him down there to try and get the record. I believe he was a little over 3 seconds faster, or right at 3 seconds faster in the 1K, and that was an older record from, I believe, 1988. So another one of those people that I coached when I first started here, and their record falls to one of the new guys. So coached by Steve Johnson. So Steve's working with kids to take those records down as well as I am, and it's fun to see. Katie Kroll, who is a hurdler for us normally, Katie had a full weekend. She ran the 600 on the first day, broke the school record in the 600, went under 1:40, so she was at least 3 seconds faster at 600 meters than the old school record. She also then came back the next day and ran the high hurdles in the 400. And I believe that was she had a PR in the 400 that day. A little bit tired by the time she ran the 400, but good performance anyway. So our top finishers in the meet, Jack Batho, one of our freshman throwers, actually got into one of the 2 seated flights in the shot put. He improved his shot put throw by about 3 inches and threw 50 foot 3.5 or 3.25 and finished 7th overall. So he went from ranked probably 16th, finished 7th place. Did a really nice job of improving. And we're looking to see big things out of him in the next 3 years as well as the rest of this year. Nick, of course, finished 10th in the 200 and 17th in the 400 with that school record. Katie Kroll finished 14th in the 600. Then Mackenzie Nordine finished 16th in the pole vault. She's not up there right now, but she improved her pole vault record indoors and equaled the outdoor record that she set last year. So didn't have quite as good a vault this weekend, but was within 6 inches of her personal best, so was very competitive. We're winding down the indoor season a little bit. The next meet will be this Saturday at Black Hill State, and it's kind of a tune-up for the RMAC meet because the RMAC is the following Friday, Saturday at Schafer, Nebraska. So if you want to take a little trip down there, you can watch us compete at Schafer on their short track and kind of see what we can get done. Any questions? Good. I've explained it all.
Coach,
okay.
Coach, you said there were upper level and not so upper level. Give us an idea of some of the schools that were there that you consider upper level. It's Division I, Division
right.
II,
The Division I were SDSU, who has a very strong program, North Dakota State, University of North Dakota, probably the 3 primary, well, University of South Dakota. So the 4 Dakota D1 schools were there. A lot of the Minnesota schools out of the Northern Sun in the D2, as well as Chapman State traveled there. There were schools out of Montana that traveled all the way over, as well as a lot of Iowa schools. Large number. There probably were 100 schools represented and well over 1,000 athletes between the men and women, maybe pushing 2,000. So it was a huge event.
Thank you.
Yes.
So how much money does Brad have to raise for the facility?
Well, I'm not quite sure what Sanford paid for that for SDSU, but I would guess 30 million might give us something pretty close to comparable. So Brad's back there flashing a start, so I don't know how much he's got in his money clip, but anything you can do to help would be great. So thank you.
$30 million, that's a lot of free Subway lunches right there, Brad. Hardrocker women's basketball team, I'll tell you what, 3 out of the last 4 games have been leaving Ryan Larsen on the edge here, I think, a little bit. They've been battling really close to the end, and we'll have Coach Larsen welcome him up to explain it.
Well, thanks, Dave. Thanks, everyone, for showing up again. Yeah, that's a good description, leaving me on the edge, but I'm still here. I'm still hanging on to the edge, that's for sure. My fingernails are getting worn off and hanging on, but still clinging to it. Yeah, very disappointing weekend all the way around. I'd be lying if I wasn't saying I wasn't quite over it yet, but I am slowly crawling myself out of it. to stay in the home playoff or the playoff race, you got to protect your home court, and to drop 3 out of 4 at home, obviously it's not going to get it done to get into the postseason. You know, then even more disappointing was just the way we lost those games. You know, you talk about your team getting better throughout the year, and we have. You know, especially the last 2 to 3 weeks, we have been getting better. But the hard thing to swallow is we don't have anything to show for it. Especially losing the games that we had. You know, we talked about last weekend, or 2 weekends ago, obviously last week, and this weekend, you know, it was, I think I really jinxed myself. Nate was interviewing before the game Friday, and we were talking a little bit about last week's game, and I said, well, you know, it's just kind of a reoccurring nightmare for us right now, with, you know, giving up offensive rebounds in very untimely situations, and that's exactly what happened 2 times this week. Friday night against Westminster, who is a very good basketball team. You know, their record doesn't indicate the type of team that they are. You know, I've had a number of discussions with people who did see that game, how hard they are to guard. They run some of the best motion I've seen in a long, long time. We did a much better job the first time around of guarding them. You know, so that was a very bright sign for us. But obviously didn't put enough points on the board, and didn't rebound well that game at all. I believe we gave up 21 second chance points, and, you know, continue to turn over the ball way too much as well. So when you're giving them more opportunities than you're giving yourself, that's a bad recipe right there. You know, but give them credit. Westminster made the plays to win the game. We had a couple of defensive possessions. We get 1 rebound. You know, I feel very good about walking away with a nice victory for that game. You know, and then very similar to Saturday as well. We played a really good team, you know, in Mesa, and we played them well the first time. And we held one of the best scorers in the league to 6 points. So we played a really tremendous defensive game that Saturday night afternoon. But then, you know, we take the lead. You know, we need 1 rebound, and we didn't get it. And again, that's the recurring nightmare. You know, but as you know, we focus on that 1 rebound. You know, the 26 turnovers that we gave up that game too didn't help as well. And, you know, that's been our 2 Achilles heel all year long, rebounding the basketball and turning it over. And I've mentioned a few times up here that, you know, we just haven't improved in some areas that we really need to improve in. You know, our field goal percentage has really gone up offensively. Defensively, holding them, you know, percentage-wise, we've really improved there. But the 2 things that just keep coming back to bite us is defensive rebounding and turning the ball over. And that's where we got to learn. That's where we got to really improve. And, you know, God bless him. You know, my dad, he's been out of the games this year, just about all of them. Friday night, he said, you know, Ryan, what, you think about doing some rebounding drills? Yeah, Dad. Yeah, you know, we do. Yeah, we do. But realistically, this time of year, we shouldn't have to do rebounding drills. You know, and quite frankly, I'm afraid of getting kids hurt in rebounding drills. You know, we do them early, we do them a lot, early on in the year, but this time of year, you know, it's just about going and getting a basketball, putting your body on somebody and pursuing the ball. But that's great advice, Dad. You know, I appreciate that. And then shooting Saturday, you know, Ryan, we thought about doing some passing drills. Yeah, Dad, yeah. We work on passing a lot. You know, we do. Because when we pass the ball well, we seem to score. You know, but in both games, you know, a lot of our turnovers were just, you know, kind of see the kids tense up a little bit and not sure of what we're doing. But, you know, man, we've been practicing that stuff all year. We weren't running anything new. Okay, the turnovers that we had, we were either running a set play, and we just throw a bad pass, or we were running our motion, and just the ball was stuck and made a really poor read. You know, so it's stuff that we had been practicing all year. So that, you know, that's where my frustration is right now, and I take full credit for it. You know, we got to rebound the ball better, absolutely. You know, we got to get physically tougher and mentally tougher to go pursue some balls and just to take better care of the basketball. You know, that's a skill, and we got to improve there. There's no doubt about it. So, you know, it was, both games were just, yeah, they were rough, and I'm slowly getting over it. And thank God the kids are. We had a really good spirited practice this morning. We worked out yesterday for about an hour was it. We did a lot of skills and shooting, and they're very disappointed. Yeah, but they know that they have 3 games left to continue to one, improve, and just continue to play for a lot of pride, which this team does. And I've been saying that all year long. So I was really happy with the way they rebounded this week. And we got 2 big games this weekend. We started out at Metro, a team that we competed really well against and had a tremendous second half of the game. And then UCCS, Colorado Springs, who's I consider one of the best teams in the league. You know, talent-wise, they are very, very good. And you know, the first time we played Springs, we had a very poor showing. And so hopefully we can put a better foot forward this time around. There's no doubt about it. But you know, we started saying, you know, earlier this year, you know, we don't look at losses as losses, and every one of them is a learning experience. And you know, we've learned a lot of lessons this year. You know, I feel to bring up last week where, you know, we played a Adams State team who's not very good, and we didn't play a really clean game, but we won the game, and I was really proud of that. And in the locker room after the game, I had to remind the ladies, you know, because they were disappointed in their performance, and they were kind of down and out. And I said, hey, don't ever miss an opportunity to celebrate a victory. Don't ever miss that opportunity. Because number one, it's hard to do. It's hard to win. You know, we're starting to learn that. The type of game you have to play every Friday and Saturday night, you got to play your best in order to win. And you kind of got to get lucky every once in a while. Health situations and shooting and stuff like that, you got to have the basketball gods on your side. So we are learning that it is very difficult to win, especially in a good basketball conference. So that's probably been number one lesson we've learned this year, and you know, continue to put a good effort forward. And I know we will do that Friday and Saturday night. Brad, you got any clips for me? I believe these first 2, this is from a Westminster game. Very good motion possession here, I believe. Emily Vandergriff had a tremendous game Friday night, and Emily really needed that. She's a really good player for us as a freshman. We see it all the time in practice, but nobody's ever seen it in a game, so that was great for her to come out and have a game. Here's a little set we really like to run. We score probably about 75% of the time out of it, and there's Devin Ashe going that dead left hand. Nice little inbounds play here. We don't get our initial look at it, but kids continue to run offense here. This is the play. Yep, good inside-out basketball. Great shot by Peyton Humpel there. I was excited for her. I wasn't chasing her down. Again, a good weekend for Peyton Humpel. She had not played well in a while. It was great to see her, you know, come back and play to the level that she's capable of playing. Another good play by Emily Vandergriff there. Great assist to find the open shooter in the corner. And that's where we really improved. We've been able to play through our posts and make passes out to the perimeter. Great read by Megan right here. And if I could, you know, draw up an offensive possession for us within our motion, that's where it is right there. Great high-low look. Little inbounds play that we drew up out of a timeout. Tremendous pass by Alexis to Megan. And you know, I give Megan a ton of credit. Go to the free throw line, step up and make 2 for us and put us ahead by 1. Then we know the rest from there. But hey, I'm getting over it. I just made a joke. But you know, again, I will repeat myself. We have been playing better basketball. We have on both ends of the court. But the unfortunate thing is we just haven't seen the results of it in the win-loss column. But we're going to continue to compete hard as these kids have all year long. We're going to finish the year strong, and you know, hopefully send Devin and Megan out on a really positive note and get some good playing time for these kids who will be coming back next year. Any questions for me before I hand it over to Coach Henry? Covered it all? Very good. Thank you guys for coming out.
Next up, Hardrocker men's basketball. How about that start Friday night from the guys? Got up, I think, 22-0. Coach, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that. I don't know why you lost the shutout from there, but we had a shutout going. Kind of like Coach Collins. I want shutouts. Basketball's a little bit harder. Got a win at Westminster. Then Saturday, Colorado Mesa got us invite Coach Jason Henry.
Thanks, Nick. Yeah, Ryan, I'm still not over that loss yet either, so don't worry about it. But that was a tough one to see the women go down like that and fight back and do the things they did in that game. But we've all been there. We've all been there and done that. We had a great start, like Nate alluded to a little bit there with the Westminster game, and just played a lot of good basketball, probably the best basketball that we played all year. In that 8-9 minute stretch, I guess even up to a 10-minute stretch. And honestly, after that, we did a lot of good things. We had a couple subs come in and missed point blank layups, and a wide open three, another layup, and then a free throw too. So, that's 9-10 points right there, not to mention the other things in between. And instead we have a 12-point lead and instead of a 20-point lead going into halftime. But I was very proud of the guys, and I told Nate that the next day is, I remember Dale Brown saying a number of years ago now, they were up when he was at LSU, and they were up against Kentucky by like 30 in the first half, and they came back and Kentucky came back and beat them. And so after the game and the news conference and all that stuff, and how in the heck do you lose that kind of lead, and how do you do this, and how do you do that? And he's like, oh my gosh, I thought you guys would ask me about how in the heck were we up by 30 against Kentucky? It's just incredible that you can get to that point and play that good of basketball. And I was very proud of our guys to come out. Like Brian said, it's tough to come into practice right now, and you're out of the playoff race, and got career fair going on the week of practice, and all those kind of things. And for us to come out and start like that, I was pretty proud of the guys, and did a lot of good things. And then down the stretch, we had basically 3 guys fall out, and Marco fouled out, and Connor fouled out, and Jay Sean was in foul trouble in the first half and in the second half, and didn't play much. And for our other guys to step up and just find a way to hang on and knock down a couple free throws when you needed to, and so on and so forth. So we're fortunate to come away with the win, but it was a pretty good start. It was basically the second Friday in a row, though. We play a Fort Lewis team that top team in the conference. They won again 2 of them last weekend. I haven't checked the rankings or individuals today, but I'm guessing they're in the top 8, 7 or 8 in the country right now, and going to overtime with them because we do have a good start as well. So excited about that. Then we go into the next night, and I wouldn't say the opposite, but we go 0 for 10 instead of 5 for 8, but we go 0 for 10 from the 3-point line to start the game the second night. So basically the difference in the game, we got same looks, we did the same things on defensive side. We played extremely well as far as switching and doing the things against Westminster, and then of course came out and guarded, did some good things, and we just didn't make shots. So even if we can go 3 of 10, 30% isn't great from the 3-point line. It's good for us right now, but we got one guy shooting over 40%, but a team shooting 38, 39% is good. Average is 36, 33 kind of percent as far as the 3 points go. So if we just make 3 in that first half, the second night is it's a totally different game. So and they're a great Mesa team. I mean, they had the best kid in the conference on their team, and he didn't do a lot against Black Hills. They didn't go to him the night before. Black Hills makes 18 3-pointers in that game to find a way to win and beat Mesa, who's obviously a very, very good team. So for us, we thought we were there. We keep telling our guys we're so close, and it's just a matter of kind of a broken record. Talking with Ryan all the time is we just got to make some more plays and hit some more shots. Our kids are competing. They're doing what we ask them to do. They're executing. A lot of times, it's a game of basketball. It's a game of mistakes, or the game of basketball is a game of mistakes, and you're going to have them. But we just have them on inopportune times. We'll come down and get it within 7 or 8, which happened to us again this weekend, and we'll turn it over 2 of the 3 possessions or 3 of the 4, and that just kills you. So we got to keep getting better at that. But overall, like I said, it was nice to get a win, get back going. In that game that we did get the win and to start, I think Connor Koulis had a double-double at halftime, which is, it's incredible to have a double-double in the game, much less going into the second half. So it was a great start for us against a good team that's in the top half of the conference. And then the second night, like I said, we're so close. We just knocked down a few more shots. But our guys kept competing and going from there. So as far as the games this weekend, we do play at Metro, who's kind of got our number down there the last number of years. and kind of taking it to us. So hopefully we come out and have that focus that we've talked a lot about as far as the mental toughness going into a place like that with, you got the national championship banners over here, you got great crowds and all those kind of things, and a good shot blocker. I think they had 9 blocks last game they played against Schafer State last weekend. So we can't be intimidated going in there, and we just got to settle down and knock down those shots and attack them in the paint. But last time when they were up here, we lost by 1. Then we go to a UCCS team that's also, I think Metro's lost 1 game since they played up here, which they won 2, of course, up here. But then UCCS is about the same too. I think they've lost 1 game since then. So both of them are won like 7 of 8 and playing very well. The top 2 teams on our side of the conference and being at their place. But our guys will be ready. I'm excited to get down there and accept the challenge, and our guys will give it everything they have and hopefully find a way to beat one of those, if not both of those teams on the road. So. We'll get Brian Orr up here in a second, but any quick questions for me as far as the games or anything? All right, we'll watch the highlights real quick here and get those questions coming, all right? I don't know what he's got for highlights here, but Philip Shanilak's another guy right in here to Connor. It's nice to have Connor obviously back. A guy gets a double-double. We've talked about injuries all year long. There's Brian. That's why Brian's here, I guess. I knew that. I should invite Brian to come. Actually, I worked in his schedule. So, but yeah, starting the game and knocking down shots is obviously very important because we've gotten good looks. We've executed great. In this game, I think they went 4 possessions of zone against us. And you talk about execution, the evolution for where we're at and our guys. And we got 2 layups and 2 threes. So just executed extremely well, which sometimes we've had a problem with that. But Marco had a great game, especially the second night when we couldn't score very much in that first half, and he kept us in the game. That was one of the better passes and plays that we've had right there as far as highlights go. And Marco does a great job of just seeing the floor in the open court, seeing his guys. He's just got a great feel for the game. But we talk about Connor and all the injuries and that kind of stuff. And once again, as we see, he makes a difference out there. There's no question about it. But Philip Shanilak was another one too. This weekend, he struggled this year, being a senior, and I don't know. Those seniors kind of put pressure on themselves to come out and do well, and they try so darn hard that it kind of messes them up sometimes. And I think that's one of the things where we've constantly said that to Phil: just relax and just go out and do what you do. And a big part of it's just knocking down shots. Does he ever miss in practice, Brian? I mean, it's sickening, So, but then he gets into a game and he just, like I said, I think he just puts some pressure on himself, which there's no need to. He's a great basketball player, and I saw that again this weekend. And hopefully that continues his last 3 games of his college career because great kid. And he's done so much for our program, and we're looking forward to him finishing strong. So I'll bring Brian Orr up here real quick. He's from Macomb, Detroit area, Michigan. And has done a lot of good things for us the last couple of years. You can see him knocking down shots. He is one of our few guys. I think Jamal Taylor, once again, injury-wise, only guy shooting over 40% for us, but then Brian's a close second. And after this weekend, I guess I haven't checked the stats, but he's probably out right at 38, 39% from the three-point line, and he's a guy that we got to count on for scoring. He's a guy that can shoot at all 3 levels. He can take it to the basket. Finishes very well, which we need to do more of, which we talked to him plenty about, but he's definitely one of the best 3-point shooters, not just on our team, but in the league. And we got to continue to get him good looks and shots. The problem is, like Ryan said, it's hard to win, and part of the hard to win is people actually watch film on you, and they got pretty good players too, so they put their best defenders on, Brian now, and they do some things to try to take away a guy like that, and he still responded. He's still knocking down shots with best defenders and doing some things that way. So other than the rebounding side, Brian, that we're going to keep getting better on, he's a complete player. He's really changed, especially on the defensive side where he really struggled last year, and we're pretty proud that he's taking the next step on that side as well. So Brian can come up and drill him a little bit since you.
All right, Coach, thanks for the good introduction. Good afternoon, everybody. Brian Orr, like Coach said, I'm from Macomb, Michigan. I'm now an IS student. I came here as an IE. switched over mainly because interest reasons. I'm going into physical therapy now, and plus there's a bonus of less math, so that's good to know. Yep, so that's why I switched over for that reason. I'm a second-year student here. I'm a sophomore, and I'm looking forward to the games this weekend. Metro down in Denver. That's my introduction and summary of myself. You guys got any question for me?
Talk about the difference between last year and this year for you.
Last year and this year, like Coach said, defensive-wise, I've noticed with myself, last year was a lot of stress on myself, kind of knowing where to go and everything. And this year I just feel like I have a better feel for it. I know where to go. Not really just one-on-one defense, but positioning-wise. So defense is a big difference from last year. A lot less pressure.
What's your perception of the RMAC men's basketball side?
My perception of it, well, I mean, I like playing it. It's very competitive. It's a great level for me. As a team, we're struggling a little bit right now. We're on that losing streak a little bit, but those are a lot of games were pretty close losses. I think it's good we can win.
Are you allowed to repeat what you said to get that referee upset down the corner?
No, I'm not gonna. I won't say that. Yeah, it's not up here. Yeah, I got hacked on that one. That was blurted out of me.
You weren't wrong, I'm sure, right?
No, he said I was.
Any other questions? Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Just had to bring that up, didn't you? A couple things to note here. Get your tickets for the Black Hill State game. If you don't have them, looking forward to Wednesday, February 24th, doubleheader at the Ice Arena. Gotmine.com, the best place to do it. And we're going to have another luncheon next week. I keep on mixing it up to keep you on your toes. Monday, we'll have a luncheon here on campus on Monday to preview the Black Hill State game coming up next Wednesday. Thanks to Subway. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Have a good week.